What's up, everybody? It's Jesse Ziegler from Cycle News. We're at Anaheim 2 press day on Friday before the race goes, and our cover boy Ricky Brabec from issue number 3 is here. He just got back off winning the 2024 Dakar Rally. If you've been following the Dakar Rally on our video series or on our podcast, you know how big of a feat this is, but we're going to catch him in a few minutes. He's talking to all the other international media, and we're going to get his take on what it's like being back home after winning this sweet trophy. All right, we caught him. Ricky Brabec, the hardest guy to catch in rally, is here in front of his issue number 3 cover that he just signed. That's going in the Cycle News office for sure. What's more important, getting a cover of Cycle News or getting a Dakar Rally trophy?
Oh man, why do you have to ask that question? I would say both are pretty awesome, but the trophy means a lot more to me, as respectfully so. And
as it should.
Yeah. As it should. But the cover is also super sick, and I'm super stoked for that.
Nice. Thanks, man. Talk quickly about your rally. I know it was really stressful for you, even though in the coverage you were super cool as a cucumber and looked like you were in complete control the whole time. How do you pull off like looking like you're in control, but off being like really stressed out at the same time?
Yeah, you know how there's those guys that like, oh, they see a camera, they get fired up and do a trick or a mistake? Yeah. When I see the camera, I'm calm till the camera leaves, and then my head blows up and I'm freaking stressing like no one's business.
So you got to figure it out that where the photographers and the helicopters or the cameras are, cool. That's like the dangerous place to ride, right?
Yeah, exactly. And same with the interviews, you know, like once the interviews are done, you go to the motorhome when there's no cameras and you're just like mind boggled, like, what do I do? Johnny, what are we doing? What's the strategy? Oh, what's tomorrow like? Yeah. No, it's a big stressful event.
I figured it was a little more to it than you were leading on when we chatted with you. But I mean, you did control the race really well from the front. And I think this year it proved that with the structure of Dakar, the bonus structure, the course, the navigation being tricky, like if you don't get to the front early and control this race from the front, you don't have a lot of chance to win.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to control a rally, let alone finish the rally. So in 20, yeah, we had a little bit more comfortable of a lead, and it was a little bit easier. But this rally, times were tight the entire time. So that's back to the point of where I was saying, you know, once the cameras are away, the head explodes, and then you're stressing out, and you don't know what to do. So, to put all the pieces together definitely means a lot, and to come out on top is something super special. So it's been a difficult 2 weeks. I grew some gray hairs, but hey, we made it happen, and I'm happy.
Talk about the competition up in their game. I mean, Ross Branch is a great example of how much everybody else is kind of raising their game every day and pushing you to find more limits and the machines to get better and everything like that. I mean, it's been a few years since 2020 already went by. What's the difference between the whole field?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been easy, you know. The feeling of, you know, this win in 2020, you know, as I said, it was, you know, 2020 meant a lot. You know, and this one means a lot as well, but the media side of it in 2020 was a lot more than it is now in 24. But now in 24, it's a sealed deal. Like, it wasn't just a lucky one-time gig, and now we've done it twice. You know, I want to be like the only American to have won it. I mean, I encourage more Americans to go out there and try to win it. But if another American can win, then that's like mad respect. Yeah. But I want to be the guy that has like the most wins for America. Yeah. So it's not easy, dude. Trying to line all the pieces up to win. It's a big stressful job, and the competition, dude, is it's stiff. You know, the guys are riding good, and times we're like 37 hours and 7-second gaps. That's a crazy race. So, you know, the boys are riding well, and dude, a lot of stress.
A lot of stress. What's your advice to a kid racing desert or wants to race desert? He's like, Dakar's my goal. I just found it this year. This is it. This is how I got to do it. Like, it's one of the most impossible things to get into. How can you give a little bit of inspiration to somebody out there looking at their desert bike saying, I got to do well at this to get to that Dakar Rally?
Yeah, and you know, this is the most frequent asked question: is how do I get into it? What can I do? You're gonna need a bike with a big tank. You can get an iPad mounted on your bike and then play with Rally Blitz. The next problem is you need to find road books, which isn't easy. And Jimmy Lewis has all the road books, so you got to connect with Jimmy Lewis at some point. And then if you're training and you realize like it's something you want to do, then the next step would be go to Sonora Rally, because it's local to us here in like SoCal. Yep. Go to Sonora Rally, spend your $5,000 for the week, And if it's something that you think you want to do or something you really enjoy, then keep pursuing it. But I would say as a starter, that's a good platform is, link up with Jimmy to get road books and go try Sonora Rally. Other than that, I mean, you can't just go to Dakar and spend $100,000 and go spend $100,000 just to see if you like it. You could do it much cheaper here in America.
Nice. Awesome. Thanks, man. We're pumped to have you on the cover, obviously, and in the magazine, and we look forward to more.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jesse Ziegler from Cycle News, also a podcast called Dakar Rally Daily, but this is a Cycle News video, so pay attention. I got Skyler House. He's the newest member of the HRC Monster Energy Honda Rally Racing Team. Skyler, what's happening?
We're just out here, shaking babies and signing, or whatever, how that goes. Signing hands.
I don't know a lot about babies, but I know you're not supposed to shake them. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I guess. We'll see.
I know your race didn't go as planned. Obviously, stage 6, the beginning of that 48-hour chrono was a heartbreaker for you with the mechanical failure. Up to that point, it was also a pretty big challenge. Let's talk about sort of the culture shock of jumping back into Dakar on this team. How did it shake you a little bit out there?
Yeah, I think the rough season that I have, even though it started off really good with a podium and then immediately back that up with 2 major injuries and coming into the biggest race of the world onto a brand new team, not really in like my right frame of mind, focus, and body. It was definitely a little bit of a shock, and I kind of fumbled the ball definitely on the prologue and for sure on stage 1, so it set me way back to begin the race with. So I was slowly starting to crawl my way back up and got a couple good stage finishes from there. But yeah, it started off tough, and then stage 6 was supposed to be the defining moment for me, and ended up having a bit of an issue that took me out.
Unfortunately, right when you got your momentum going, you had a costly error on the machine. But I think we had a chat about it before you flew home on the podcast and the video series. But you have had a couple minutes, I think, to think about it, and you really put yourself in a good mental state that you were far from 100% coming in this year. So to get the experience and stuff, you got to take some positives away from the season.
Yeah, I hold myself to a pretty high standard, and I think the mental side of things, especially in rally, you can't dwell on any of the either mistakes or shortcomings, and I definitely undersold that side of things, and having to recover and spend almost a full year recovering from injuries definitely takes its major toll on your body and your mind. And so I for sure wasn't in my greatest shape coming into it, but I definitely have like a better understanding too. And as you know, like when you fail, you learn a lot more lessons too. So when I come back, I already have like a really good program shaping up for me for the rest of the year, and obviously more time on the bike, which is definitely needed. I only had essentially 4 months with the team before I started the race, so I put myself into a much more prepared state than I actually was.
Yeah.
So I think now having a full year to prepare, much more racing and much more testing, I think is going to be better for my program.
Yeah. We'll talk about this year coming up. I know you guys aren't doing the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, but you're going to hit some other international rallies. Do you know what your whole schedule looks like this year?
Yeah. So Abu Dhabi turns out it's pretty close, and yeah, it's tough to make all the preparations happen for that. So the team decided not to go there. So our next round will be technically is round 3, and that's in Portugal. It's mostly in Portugal, but we do one day in Spain as well. So it's kind of cool to get a rally that goes to multiple countries, even though it's only a 5-dayer.
Especially in Europe.
And in Europe, yeah. And then we'll do the Route to 40 in Argentina. And then the next one after that will be Morocco. We get a big break, a full summer break in between June and October before Morocco.
Something tells me you're not going to be taking that much time off, though. What are you doing domestically? I know you're going to be racing some local stuff or riding some smaller bikes or maybe in some four-wheel vehicles. Do you have any plans concrete for the whole year?
Yeah, I was just going over my schedule last night, and when you first make your schedule, you look at like, oh man, I got so much free time, and then immediately that starts going away. Like, well, actually, we're going to do this. This testing's here. This training's here. Yeah. So there's a ton on my plate now. For probably going to spend a couple weeks in Holland training. I'm going to go to Portugal early to train, and then a lot more motocross and high intensity stuff for me is in my program. I'll do a handful of races in the USA, like Best in the Desert, and some other local stuff just to keep fresh. And then with the world rounds, the testing, I do have a couple really cool opportunities from Rebellion. If it happens, it's not 100% concrete, but if it happens this year, it'd be super cool to do some four-wheel projects with them. And then depending on what Glickenhaus program is with the Baja Boot or their Dakar race car, I might have some opportunities there. But again, that was all just talk and nothing 100% concrete. My full focus is going to be on getting more comfortable on this with the team and on the bike and being my best self.
So we should be seeing you on some Honda machinery in the desert in the U.S.
Yep, definitely at least 5 times.
At least 5 times.
At least 5.
You're going to go back to the Vegas to Reno again and try to knock that thing off again?
Yeah, so on the plan right now is at least Silver State, Vegas to Reno, and then I have a couple local rounds that I'll do. And in between that, if I can hit any other ones that aren't conflicting, I'll race as much as I can.
Awesome. Well, good luck. Stay healthy. Get back into tip-top fighting shape. We can't wait for the next rally to kick off.
Sweet. Thanks.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks.
Johnny Campbell's out here. We're out here at Anaheim 2 Supercross celebrating Ricky Brabec's victory, the Dakar Rally 2024. His second victory. You've been like such an integral part of his team and his success. How does it make you feel to finally get home and bask in the victory a little bit?
It's surprisingly, aside from the victory, like, which for me is emotionally amazing.
Yeah.
Just being home on American soil is just such a relief.
Yeah, I mean, you were gone for over 2 weeks, right? In Saudi Arabia, it's such a different world for anybody to go to. What'd you miss most when you were over there?
Mexican food.
Faye, I heard that. Faye Campbell, definitely the most missed person in the world. Anybody who's going to miss Faye Campbell, she's amazing. But massive success for HRC, Monster Energy Honda team. They just honestly kind of took the lead in the beginning, didn't look back. They had a big challenge by Ross Branch on the Hero, which I thought was great, and it kept it really exciting. So it wasn't just a Honda show, but could anything gone better for you guys out there?
I really wanted to just sweep the podium. I really wanted it, and you could almost taste it, right? It was getting there, but it didn't happen. Not a big deal, but impressive ride from Ross Branch.
Yeah.
Really an impressive ride. But this year, I think with the margins were so tight the whole time, it added an element of stress on top of having the new HRC 450 rally. There is definitely a higher tension, I think, than Ricky's first win.
It's just hard to imagine that something is going to be more stressful than winning Dakar, but this year it was. And Ricky even said that a couple times too, just mainly because that margin between him and Ross, 3-4 days to go was 1 second.
Yeah.
1 second apart after riding for 40 hours.
And at that point when it was that close, I wasn't too concerned. We were just trying to really strategize on where we can place Ricky for starting the next stage and where Ross was at. This little cat and mouse, little chess game thing going on. So it was really that was fun, exciting, exciting for the viewers, I would assume.
For sure.
But it was really nice to it's really nice to get to the finish, really.
Yeah.
but it was an exciting time, and I just can't say enough about Ricky, his performance, his maturity, has gone way up, and how to handle situations and where to place himself, and just to, compared to a few years ago when he won, it was just such a relief to me to see how much he's learned and experience-wise, and he might not even see that himself, because it's just, you learn by such small increments. Sometimes it's hard to see. But I was really proud of that, and I was really proud of how the whole team, the whole crew, and the organization, how it really came together this year was just amazing. It was a winning effort.
Yeah, and it showed in the results. Multiple days, Honda swept the podium on day stages. They were always knocking, the other teams really just further back. No other team other than Hero could even really compete after about midway through this race. Everybody was basically out of touch, barring some catastrophic loss from the Honda team, and that's where you want to be to win the rally. You have to be up front and charge from the front, and especially now with bonus points being the way they are, they're a little harder to come by than years past maybe, but I think Ricky proved to win this race, you got to go to the front and you got to be comfortable staying up front for the whole race, which is different than the Dakar has been.
Yeah, I think the bonus, the time bonus now is a little more fair overall, because before it was too aggressive, and so it was hard if you weren't on that swing. It was impossible for you to break into that top three because the bonuses were so aggressive that you would never. You might be way faster than the other guys, but then all of a sudden they add the bonuses in. Oh, nope, you're back and forth.
Yeah,
you're fifth, you're sixth. And it's like, dang, I just took all this risk just to get up there, and I can't get them. So now the bonus is more fair, and we talk about this, and it's like, when you open a rally stage, depending on the terrain and stuff, it's a disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting yourself out there to be hunted down.
You're putting a line down on the track, and people are going to follow that track. Whether you go the wrong way or not, they're going to follow you. And most of the time, these guys are correct. I mean, the guys up front impress me. The top 7 or 8 guys, unbelievable intelligence on the trail.
Yeah, right.
Opening, going fast. Ricky, Nacho, impressive. Adrian, impressive.
Yeah.
How much of the rally they actually opened and stayed opening
without losing time.
Yeah. Impressive.
Or maintaining that time loss, and that's really what it's all about. How do you put into perspective, like, sort of the defensive position that they put almost everybody else in right away? Like, it hasn't really happened, and we're clearly talking about the KTM group that's had just a dominant presence in rally for so long, and this is the first year I've ever seen the whole team on their heels.
Yeah, I mean, we were surprised because that group has basically written the book of rally over the last 3 decades, it seems like, right? And it really, made me excited about the work that we did do on our bike, because I feel it was a clear advantage for our riders. And it showed. I mean, the riders definitely put in, but we also had the weaponry.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the HRC Honda looked great out there. KTM came in beat up. Guys were hurt. Guys were spread out. They lost people right away, with some stuff. So they were just put down. But you got to show up to put up that #1 trophy at the end of the race, and you guys certainly did. So congrats. I can't wait to see how the whole year shakes out and where Ricky goes next.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And everybody have a great 24.
Thank you.